My name is Kate Shannon Biddle. I'm the Director of Student Affairs. We can't start the tears yet, but I appreciate that. Thank you. I'm the Director of Student Affairs at the Harris School of Public Policy at the University of Chicago. It is my pleasure to welcome you here today as we award degrees to our 2017 Harris graduates. I would like to first introduce Jeremy Edwards, Senior Associate Dean for Academic and Student Affairs, to share some thoughts with our graduates. Jeremy?
All right, so let's take a collective deep breath, huh? Good. Greetings, everyone, and thank you so much for traveling all the miles that you have to be here today. Today is truly a special day for the university. Every person in this room in some way has uniquely contributed to the progress and success that we celebrate today. We celebrate the accomplishments of our graduates, but we also celebrate the accomplishments of the parents and families in the room. Good, excellent. Many of you have provided our students with the motivation, the mentorship, the comfort, and I know for some of you the financial support to allow our graduates to thrive during their time here at the University of Chicago. But today we also celebrate the wider Harris community. We've all heard before that it takes a village to raise a child. In the same way, I believe it takes a village to educate the next generation of thinkers and leaders. Our faculty teach, challenge, and mentor. Our staff provide the support to ensure that our students can indeed excel, and our alumni and friends of the school provide advice, mentorship, and guidance. Indeed, we are all a part of the recipe, and today I want to acknowledge and show my personal gratitude to everyone that puts in the extra hours, the extra thought, the extra care, the extra conversation to make the student experience at Harris memorable and impactful. Thank you. And to the graduates, graduation is a momentous occasion. It's time to celebrate your hard work, your personal and professional growth, and academic mastery. Today also marks a major transition in life in general. As a recipient of a diploma from the University of Chicago, you now carry an obligation forever to be a serious driver of serious and positive influence in the world. And as a graduate of Harris, many will look to you for answers. You are now prepared to tackle the most complicated and most important issues we all face today. And if I could offer one thought of advice, and I know that you're going to get lots of that today, if I could offer one thought of advice, it would be to never stop learning and assume nothing. I think we've all learned this past year that our assumptions and predictions do not always pan out the way we've originally envisioned. The jobs that might excite you today, the people who might inspire you, the opportunities that might strengthen you, all of it is unpredictable. Most importantly, don't assume that your impact on the world is limited by your degree or by your area of expertise. I have found that the most impactful people are those who have an unquenchable thirst for learning, instead of assuming there's nothing left for them to discover. Be willing to try and fail and do it again. All of you are bound together by a profound belief in the possibilities for a better world, not just for yourself, but even for those you will never meet. And I believe this is what makes you truly special. When your minds are open to learning and listening and working with new people, there's no telling what your future will be like. The things that are unfair will become fair. The things that are unknown will become known, all because of you. You will discover solutions that previous generations could only dream about. You will solve problems that many will tell you are unsolvable. You will exceed your own expectations, and you will do things that will shock the world. And we all here are eager and excited to watch you do it. I encourage you to leave today not only with a smile, but fearless and motivated to conquer the problems that demand your attention. We are all so very proud of you, and good luck. The student voice is crucial to who we are here at Harris. It is the most authentic narrative we can offer as a school. So I'm thrilled to introduce this year's student speaker, Laura Berger. Laura is a native and citizen of Germany who spent a year in Chile before completing her undergraduate education in economics in Germany and Spain. She then worked for 6 years in Berlin with the environmental organization CDP, developing and implementing private sector strategies to reduce carbon emissions. Last summer, she co-authored a report on green finance at the International Finance Corporation in Washington, D.C. Here at Harris, Laura was a teaching assistant and a member of the editorial board of the Chicago Policy Review. After graduation, she will remain in the United States to work in one of her fields of interest, energy or migration. Please join me in welcoming our 2017 student speaker, Laura Berger.
Good morning, everyone. Hello, my friends. Well, we made it. We are graduating from the Harris School at the University of Chicago. It feels good, doesn't it? Let us take a moment to embrace this feeling, and let's take a moment to express appreciation and gratitude. Frankly, we wouldn't even be here were it not for the support of our families. Our moms and dads, our brothers and sisters, our partners and spouses, our mentors, and for some of us, also our own children. Thank you for your patience, all of you. Thank you for your inspiration. And most especially, thank you for your warmth, your love, and your devotion. And my family's up there. Vielen, vielen Dank, dass ihr immer für mich da seid. And we also owe appreciation and gratitude to the Harris faculty. Thank you for training us to think critically and speak clearly. Thank you for persistently challenging us, while also always remaining so encouraging and supportive. Finally, we would not have been able to build the community we experience today without the Harris Student Affairs team. Thank you for nurturing us, our development here at the Harris School, and navigating us through the sometimes complex academic pathways. Today, one important phase of our lives ends, and another phase begins. So it is appropriate that we put our education into perspective and talk for a few moments about what we have learned here. First, though, for those of you who came to celebrate the accomplishments of your loved ones, I think you should know a little more about us. We are nearly as diverse as the world. In fact, we are from more than 30 countries, and we speak more than 30 native languages. We are Muslims, Christians, Jews, Buddhists, Hindus, and atheists. We have all kinds of skin colors and hair types. We have many liberal but also some conservative viewpoints. Some of us have or plan to have children, others don't. And we have worked as teachers, engineers, politicians, economists, financial analysts, managers, social workers, environmental activists, and marketing experts. It's a long list. We are very different from one another. But we have all something important in common: the enthusiasm and the skills to drive positive change in society. Now, just what did we learn here? Here at the University of Chicago, and especially at the Harris School, we put a high premium on facts and logic, and we should. Too often, policymakers play fast and loose with those facts, and that is wrong. But as great philosophers have taught us, there are limits to everything. For the philosopher Kant, justice was based on rationality alone. For his ancient colleague Aristotle, instead, the intellect walked arm in arm with emotion and with character. He argued that emotion, and more especially character, were essential companions to facts and logic. Today, we see the tension between these three dynamics almost every day. Feelings clash with facts, and people on each side of an argument notice and believe only those facts that fit their feelings. During our years at Harris, we have grown in all three respects: our intellect, our emotion, and our character. In other words, we have shaped our heads, our hearts, and our hands. Let us explore each of them. First, we learned how to think critically and rigorously. This journey started with math camp, and for most of us it ended with advanced courses in Stata, R, or Python. Now, some of our guests may wonder what these things are. We call it rigorous data-driven analysis. And that means we take a lot of data and investigate the relationships between and among variables. We strive to understand what really good policy is for healthcare, environmental protection, or social justice, based on a variety of information and not merely on anecdotes or secondhand information of any kind. Let me share a moment that I found thought-provoking. Just a few weeks ago, I overheard a doorman complaining to someone else here in a Hyde Park building. He said they want to solve poverty, but they grew up with a silver spoon in their mouth, not knowing how it feels like to not know how to feed your kids at home. Now, I don't know exactly who he was referring to, but I found myself wondering, how do we gain respect for our work from those whose lives are so different than our own? And how do we show respect to them? And this brings me to my second point. We learned to care deeply. Before coming here, I thought of myself as an open-minded international citizen, having already lived on 2 continents and speaking 3.5 languages. And then I came here and found out that there is so much more. Former US President Theodore Roosevelt once said, "No one cares how much you know until they know how much you care." And here at Harris, we care about people. We have learned a great deal through our different backgrounds and perspectives. A short film I saw recently illustrates this concept beautifully. It goes like this. A man wakes up in the morning, and everything he sees is made of people. The chair he's sitting on is someone's back. The teacup he's drinking from is someone's hands. The elevator is other people lifting him up. He enters his office and hangs his coat on a human coat stand. And then he lies down. His job is to serve others as a carpet. Obviously, the moral of this story is not to walk on people, but to realize that everything we do involves people. And this leads me to my third point. We learned to lend a hand and get involved. University classrooms are a great incubator of ideas, but at some point, we have to lay theory aside and make things happen. Beyond personal conversations and class projects, many of us collaborated in student organizations, community engagements, or policy labs. We learned how we rely on each other's perspectives and skills. For example, when the new administration imposed its travel ban a few months ago, some of us did not know if our relatives could be with us here today. And we are very grateful that they are here now in this very moment. We went into action. The Harris School immediately arranged a gathering to voice support for our community. Some of us organized information sessions, some protested, and we gave each other courage and ideas. Now, how do we combine these three strengths? That is the biggest question, isn't it? How do we use our heads, our hearts, and our hands wisely for the greater good? My fellow graduates, Each of you must answer that question in your own way. We came from many different professions and cultures, and we will depart into different directions again. My charge for you today is to apply what we have learned genuinely and carefully wherever we find ourselves. Let us remember to insist on fact-based evidence. Let us have the courage to question what appears to be real actually is real. And let us take people seriously, all of them, those who agree with us and those who disagree. And only then reach true, relevant, effective policy conclusions and take appropriate action. We all came here because we are not afraid of the unknown, didn't we? Never lose this curiosity, and never lose the willingness to scrutinize your own logic and your own opinion. It is a day-by-day challenge. At a lunch session with some students just 2 days ago, Henry Paulson, former Secretary of the Treasury and founder of the Paulson Institute, said to us that the problems we will face are never only related to data, but they are always related to people. It is our responsibility to embrace this challenge and turn it into opportunities through constant questions and conversations. So let us take a note today of what we have learned here at Harris, with satisfaction, with pride, and to be completely candid, also with some relief. And then I have no doubt will we be able to bring about positive change for our societies. And I really cannot wait to see it happen. Congratulations, my peers, my friends, and my future colleagues.
Harris has a long-held tradition. Each year at graduation, we invite an alumna of the school to return and offer a message to the graduates. This year's distinguished alumna speaker is Brad Bogan, a graduate of the Harris School with an MPP in 1997. Brad was recruited by Deloitte Consulting to join its public sector practice upon graduation. There, he quickly transitioned from support roles to leadership roles in helping improve constituent service delivery for the Commonwealths of Kentucky, that's my hometown, and Ohio, as well as Los Angeles Unified School District, Purdue University, and Fisk University in higher education. Brad's approach to modeling and process improvement were recognized as highly transferable for improving operations in commercial sectors, and he was asked to provide consulting support to private sector clients such as Clorox, Glad, Campbell's, and Procter & Gamble. Then, in 2003, Brad was recruited to PepsiCo by the Chief Supply Chain Officer, where he spent the next decade leading key transformation initiatives and was ultimately promoted to Vice President and General Manager of Northwest Operations. Brad and his family moved back to Chicago when he joined Walgreens as Divisional Vice President of Supply Chain for the company's 8,200 stores. Brad shortly returned to Deloitte in 2015 as a managing director and leads the U.S. Consumer Products Manufacturing and Distribution practice, which advises complex supply chain organizations across consumer and industrial sectors. However, Brad's most important roles are serving as husband to his wife, Wendy, for 20 years, and dad to their 3 children, Zoe, Ava, and Ian, and of course, dog Pepper. Please join me in welcoming the 2017 alumni speaker, Brad Bogan.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for this honor. This is great. I'd like to thank the Dean Charles and Dean Edwards, the esteemed faculty, the amazing staff, you, the graduates, your supportive parents and special guests. This is an honor for me because So many great and amazing things have happened to me since graduating from the Harris School. And so to be able to come back here and talk to you is a special, special honor. Part of that, the good things that happened to me, was 20 years ago, my wife was sitting right there in the audience, then my fiance, when I graduated in 1997. And one of the best things that ever happened to me. So I'd like to acknowledge Wendy. Thank you so much for supporting me and allowing me to be able all the things that I've accomplished here have been possible because I've been supported by my family. And I have to say that I couldn't have had a better intro, Dean Edwards, if I had written it myself. So thank you. 20 years ago, almost 3 days to the date, I was sitting where you guys are. And here we are in Mandel Hall, and there's still no air conditioning. Where do the contributions go? But as I think about when I was sitting there where you guys are, I have no idea what the guy up here was saying at all when I was sitting where you are. I just wanted to get through. So I had so many questions in my head, and I was thinking about all kinds of things, and I was concerned about, I'm going to miss my friends, and I have to move, and I just didn't want to leave because the 2 years here were so great together. So why am I here? I'm just like you guys. We have the same training. And I'm here to share a glimpse in your futures by sharing with you my past, because the past predicts the future. I'm going to give you some data points as we talk today, and I want you to regress through that and draw a regression line, because that's going to show you the slope of your future. And believe me, there's a very high correlation coefficient, okay? So trust me. So I'm going to share some of those things with you. So why am I here? I'm here to be your crystal ball, as I said, sharing the past to share your future. I'm going to be your magic 8 ball to answer a couple of questions for you guys. And I'm also here to share with you that we are connected. We are Harris, and there are classes that go before you that are out there making sure that there's a way for you, that we're connected, that we're supporting you, that you're joining the alumni community, the university community at large, and your future is so bright. So don't be concerned at all, because you're connected to us and we're connected together. So some of us will become informal coaches for you. Some of us will be your mentors, if you like. And some of us, even better, will become your hiring managers, even better. So let's work together. The last thing I want to make sure that we cover today is that I want you all to be so confident in your ability to go forward, that your preparation is second to none. Your preparation, your toolkit has been tested amongst the best, and it has exceeded the test. Trust me, it's tried and true, and you're going to be exceptional. So let's just clear the slate, answer some of the questions in your minds, and we're going to get into some of the data points, okay? So by show of hands, how many of you want to know if the preparation you have is necessary for you to succeed in the workforce? Anybody? The answer is yes. How many of you are wondering if you'll be able to make an impact in the world somehow? Hands? Very good. I expect all hands. The answer is yes. How many of you are wondering if you'll be able to pay your loans before you join AARP? The answer is yes. Lastly, how many of you are wondering if you will ever use all the calculus that's been shoved into you, including Lagrangian multipliers? The answer is no. You will never use that stuff. No one ever in work has asked me to break out the calculus, trust me. So I just want to tell you, it's a cruel hoax that the faculty plays, long-standing hazing, but we all go through it, and so you have too. So now that we've relieved your mind of those questions and cleared the slate, let's talk about some things. Like the class of 1997, the class of 2017 is a mosaic of diverse individuals, different folks with all kinds of cultural backgrounds, different perspectives, different experiences, different skills. But one thing you all have in common is that you came to Harris because you're focused and concerned and have passion for things that are greater than yourselves, that you want to make changes in the world that are sustaining and lasting, greater than yourselves. And I'm here to share with you 20 years from the past, looking toward your future, that your preparation and training from the Harris School will enable you and empower you to put your passions into practice with purpose everywhere that you go, any organization that you join, and wherever you land, and wherever you go from there. So be assured of this and be confident of those things. So let's talk about that preparation, that toolkit, your training, and your purpose. One thing I want you to really understand today is that you have been trained to solve for X. And what does that mean? X is the unknown quantity, the unknown variable. You have been trained to solve for X, and that means you can solve for anything. Know this. It's been proven and tested. You can solve for anything. So there's nothing coming your way you can't handle if you just focus on the things that you know how to do. So be assured of that. Be confident of that. We are all problem-solving leaders. That's what Harris does. It trains critical thinkers and supplies them with quantitative tools to solve problems. And we are problem-solving leaders. And guess what? The world has a lot of problems. Business has a lot of problems. Government has a lot of problems. So they will always need problem-solving leaders. Our training, you, me, us, we will always be in high demand. The demand for problem-solving leaders is inelastic. That's the good news. Let me describe for you 4 go-to core Harris School skills that I have used every day in my career that have never failed me and have propelled me to all the things that you heard Dean Edwards say I can do and have done. I rely on 4 core skills. Sometimes I feel like I'm an imposter. Sometimes I feel like I'm living a Walter Mitty life. Like, I'm a public policy graduate. What am I doing managing supply chain and manufacturing? What am I doing over here? What am I doing over there? Because I've learned how to learn, and I've learned how to learn quickly, and I have the confidence to believe that I can do anything. I raise my hand and I say, yeah, I can do that. Yeah, let me have a shot at that. And then I deliver it, okay? That's what I want you to know, that these 4 core skills that I'm going to share with you are universal, are resilient, and at the core so simple that you'll never be obsolete. And here they are. Simply, number 1, frame, analyze, communicate, and lead. Frame, analyze, communicate, and lead. That's it. It's just that simple. Okay? I'm going to tell you how I apply them. If you do these things, you'll be at the top of the talent pool in all of your organizations. You'll get greater responsibility, and you'll be leading. So A, demonstrate the ability to frame complex problems and issues easily. B, be able to quickly analyze the problem and structure potential solution options. C, be able to communicate both A and B very simply and very clearly. That's one of the hardest parts. And D, be able to effectively lead the implementation of the recommendation you put forth. If you can do those 4 things in any of the organizations you join, you will be making change at accelerated rates. You will be given responsibility for leadership because they're just simple things. You can take complexity and boil it down, make it simple for folks to understand, put forth an option set, and then once we've chosen an option set, you go lead the change and implementation. You do that over and over again, and you see how far the needle moves. So, After 20 years after my convocation, I'm still living off of this tool set. It's universal, it's simple, it's pure, and it's agnostic to any technology trends. It doesn't have to do with coding. It's nothing about market conditions, nothing about marketing or consumer. It's just 4 basic core skills that have allowed me to leave Harris, go into consulting, help governments, help industry, help universities, and do all kinds of things. And when I raise my hand and I say, hey, listen, I'm at PepsiCo in 2005, and we form a small affinity group that's focused on environmental sustainability. But lo and behold, PepsiCo doesn't have any strategy for environmental sustainability. But we certainly have a footprint, and we certainly have an impact. So from that small affinity group, we proposed that we put together a task force to see what we can do. At the same time, NGOs were really pinging PepsiCo to say, listen, you're taking a lot of water out of emerging markets, and water tables are being depleted, and what's your response to that? Well, I raised my hand, and I said, well, I love to tackle that, and I've got some passionate people here that are interested in too, and we've already started having an affinity group on that. Can we take this over and try to develop a strategy? He said, well, you don't know anything about that, do you? I was like, well, I'm a graduate from the Harris School of Public Policy. You are? What are you doing here? So I said, yeah, so I do have a passion around that, and it would be great to put performance into purpose there. And then, so my boss says, well, you are from UFC, so I guess you can handle it. I'm like, yeah, you're right. So understand that, have confidence, raise your hand, take risks, lean forward, and ask questions. You'll be surprised of the opportunities that open up for you. You can do anything, and you have the skills on board to do so. So I just want to give you a sample, sorry about that, of some of the things as evidence of what I'm talking about, of some of my classmates. Last weekend, I met with my classmates over our 20th reunion. It was great. We had a lot of McAllen. You guys will have some McAllen later, when you're 20 years later. But the point was, these are some of the things that my class is doing 20 years from now where you're sitting. Director of Child and Family Policy at UMass Medical School. Chief Financial Officer at the Public Health Institute. Chief Financial Officer, Mayor's Office of Community Investment and Housing in San Francisco. Comptroller, U.S. Department of State. Director, Pritzker Children's Initiative. Deputy Budget Director, City of Chicago. Chief Financial Officer for the Village of Oak Park in Illinois. Senior Director, State Health Systems, American Cancer Society. Director of Professional Development for McKinsey & Company, and on and on. This is what your future looks like. This is where you're going. So when I give you these data points and you regress that, you can see the line, that's where you're going. We're already out here waiting for you. We're here to help you with this, and you're not by yourself. So that's not a bad placement office survey, but I'll tell you, changes happen in the marketplace, changes happen, but your career will be consistent, and your growth will be consistent because you're not tied to any of those things. You have 4 core skills that are always demanded. So through all the changes in the economy, my class has enjoyed consistent employment stability. That toolkit, that training, that preparation, that purpose will always be in high demand. So your career may zig and zag. That doesn't mean that it goes up and down. That doesn't mean that it goes sideways. It just means that the places where you start working next week, next month, may not be the exact place that you're working 20 years from now. But that's okay, because your core skills are going to take you there. You'll be able to traverse industries, traverse sectors, join all kinds of different organizations, and make an impact. So in closing, I want to reiterate that you have everything you need to enjoy a long and impact-driven career. And wherever you choose to contribute, you'll always have these things with you: your toolkit, your training, your preparation, and your purpose. And if you remember the core Harris School skills, frame, analyze, communicate, and lead, you'll always be able to make meaningful and sustaining change in the world you see and live in. Thank you very much, and congratulations.
I now call upon Dean Kerwin Charles and the designated faculty and staff here to assist with the presentation of degrees. Dean Charles, it is my honor to present these students who have completed the program of studies prescribed by the faculty of the University of Chicago Harris School of Public Policy. They have been awarded the degree of Master of Arts by the Board of Trustees.
The trustees have conferred upon you the degrees of Masters of Arts, and I express the hope that your work will improve our understanding of public policy. Congratulations.
Emily Balsamo. Antra Butt. Mariela Gonzalez Neto. Joaquin Lennon Sabatini. Kopal Mathur. Ashley Haddad Noria. Kenneth Norris. Juinlong Zhou. That's all of our MAs. Dean Charles, it is my honor to present these students who have completed the program of studies prescribed by the faculty of the University of Chicago Harris School of Public Policy. They have been awarded the degree of Master of Science by the Board of Trustees.
The trustees have conferred upon you the degree of Masters of Science, and I express the hope that your work will improve our understanding of public policy. Congratulations.
Hannah Bent. Christine Chung. Lauren Elizabeth Dyson. Manuel Esquivel. Surai Pham. Alden Christopher Golab. Carlos Olivo Grandet Caballero. Turab Hassan. Anna Elizabeth Hazard. Charity Susan King. Dana Litovsky Alcala. Hunan Ma. Paul Thomas Mack. Leith McIndoer. Devin Elizabeth Munger. V. Wynn. Hector Salvador Lopez. Emily Graves Weber. Zuyuan Zhou. Dean Charles, it is my honor to present these students who have completed the program of studies prescribed by the faculty of the University of Chicago Harris School of Public Policy. They have been awarded the degree of Master of Public Policy by the Board of Trustees.
The trustees have conferred upon you the degree of Masters of Public Policy, and I express the hope that your work will guide public policy towards the enhancement of the public good. Congratulations.
Amani Abu Harb. Yvonne Acevedo Jimenez. Jeffrey Obi Ajufo. Hiroshi Akai. Pablo Javier Aguirre Orman. Guillermo Alarcón. Aiden Ali Sullivan. Carlos Esteban Alvarado. Thelma Irene Armendariz Villarreal. Oliver Arroyo Ramon. Alicia Barcenas Cruz. Barbara Rosa Jocelyn Moreno Paschal. Claudia Barrera. Alejandro Basurto Diaz. Aldo Belmont. Laura Berger. Carolina Bernal Uribe. Chen B. Eric McKnight Blome. Diego Castillo Richer. Tao Chen. Mika Buyun Choi. Yoshihiko Chonkyu. Joshua Benjamin Choper. Adelaida Correa Miranda. Greta Catherine Coddington. Annalisa Daniele. Anthony Davis. Isabel Rose Dienstag. Carlos Fernandez Monsalve. Charles Shepard Fiertz. Emily Fergens. David Fuentes, Jr. Geraldine Garcia Medina. Rajab Ghazoui. Daniel Henry Gold. Kai Goldina. Miriam Gonzalez Arano. Rachel Nicole Gordon. Sarah Gaminsky. Hua Guo. Richard Zhao Han. Han Shen. Asif Haq. Michael Jelani Harvey. Jose Antonio Hernandez Chong Hui. Brian Higgins. Janelle Highland. Thomas Hausman. Corey Lewis Hushak. Arvind Ilamaran. Kohei Iwaki. Rachel Cotter Johnson. Darshan Joshi. Alma Juarez. Nurzanti Khadija. Seitaro Kondo. Shinya Kong. Elena Koo. Daniel Joseph Kowalski. Rachel Elizabeth Kupfer. Hafsa Rehman Lack. Giancarlo Gerardo Lazaro Orlando. Sarah Ann Lewis. Benjamin John Lienhard Likis. Shalene Liu. Mauricio Lopez Mendez. Brian Yi Louie. Syed Taha Mashoud. Megan Joanne Maxwell. Sean McMahon. Tadelesh Mengesha. Luis Enrique Meso Herrera. Leonor Ortiz Monasterio. Chiaki Oya. Oluwadamilola Oyedele. Juan Pereira. Amira Shernay Phillips. Galen Pierce Gardner. Cristobal Pinto Pels. Rebecca Ann Blanchard. Jayu Pramudia. Mayra Elizabeth Quiñones Gonzalez. Jared Worthing Reynolds. Yuki Riho. Roman Rivera. Jeremias Rojas Guzman. Andrew William Roser. Marlene San Martin. Tamoya Sakata. Michael Alexander Saravia. Tamiko Sawada. Rebecca Elaine Sherman. Gregory Smith. Lauren Jessica Spiegel. Marie Noel Steinig. Henry Koenig Stone. Hajime Tada. Ryan Tang. Kian Tian. Ernesto Tiburcio. Vanessa Tobar Armas. Jose Manuel Toral Cruz. Miguel Ángel Toros Ríos y Valles. Daniel Truesdale. Gabriel Ugarte Vera. Alvaro Valdez. Roberto Velasco Alvarez. Basilio Velasco. Sarah Feeney Vogel. Sarah Vogt. Hideyuki Wakutsu. Allison Sarah Weil. Melissa Ann Whitney. Huiwen Wu. Jianyo She. Wenjia She. Young Wen. Jiaheng Yu. Emiliano Cepeda Strossi. Ling Zhong. Zhang Miao. Jinju Jiang. Yawen Zhou. Lingu Jiang. Dean Charles, the students I now present have attained scholarly distinction in advanced studies and prepared a dissertation that contributes to the knowledge in a particular field of research. On behalf of the faculty of the University of Chicago Harris School of Public Policy, I have the honor to present the recipients of the degree of Doctor of Philosophy as conferred by the Board of Trustees.
The trustees have conferred upon you the degree of Doctor of Philosophy, and I welcome you to this ancient and honorable company of scholars. Congratulations.
Ahmad Afan. Dan Alexander. Michelle Ruslow Davies. Sumiko Hayasaka. Luis Andres Herzgovich. Rebecca Hines Piper. Nayang Rim. Christian Salas. Gregory Sasso. Pallavi Vias.
So, Harris class of 2017. Congratulations. So if you are at all like me, graduation marks a moment where you feel buffeted by all sorts of emotions. There is first the fact that we gather today partly to celebrate your accomplishment. So there's that. And then you feel, I'm guessing, overwhelmed by a feeling of gratitude. Your parents, friends, loved ones, partners, siblings, cousins, the whole architecture of support without which you would not have made it through. Let's give them a round of applause again. And then, too, there's the feeling of excitement. Yeah? You're about to start something new. That's invigorating and exciting. I'm guessing there's some trepidation, as was mentioned by our speaker. Did I pick the right thing? What am I going to do? Is it thus and so? There might even be a bit of sadness, because although it's not air-conditioned, yeah, we kind of know and like Mandel Hall, yeah? And we know and like our cafeteria and so on. Yeah? And we're leaving all of that behind. You are. And so there's a certain sadness that comes with that. But that admixture of feelings is not uncommon. It's not weird at all as you cross the threshold from student to important policy practitioner in the world. Indeed, it's always special to welcome a new class of Harris graduates. I know that your journey through our program has not been easy. I know this in part because in your first year, in your very first term, in my micro class, I did my level best to make it as difficult as possible. Yeah. More generally, I know that it was not easy because at Harris we pride ourselves on the rigor of our curriculum. And we believe strongly that it is our duty to constantly challenge the way our students think and engage with ideas. I congratulate you for taking on and passing the challenge. It is our hope that you will now use the tools and perspectives you have learned here to lead rewarding, productive, and impactful lives. We have high expectations for you. Our students come to us with the ambition to make a difference, and they graduate with a set of skills that enable them to become effective policy leaders, we believe. As Brad's superb speech made clear, Harris alums are thriving in a stunningly wide range of fields. What unites them all is their commitment to sound reasoning, careful analysis of data, their insistence upon logical argument and rigorous reasoning, their disdain for sloppy and illogical phrasing and argument, their skeptical but respectful willingness to engage with ideas different from their own. To be an impactful policy leader in any sphere, it helps when talents are matched to the moment. This is a wonderful moment for you, I believe. It's an interesting and challenging time to be in public policy. The complexities of the issues we confront are such that the world has never been in more urgent need of precisely the skills you possess. Never have new policy graduates been better equipped to tackle those problems than you, because of your tools, the methodologies, and the ideas with which you're now familiar. You represent a new generation of smarter, bolder policy leaders who are willing to be skeptical of received wisdom, ask searching questions, and rigorously analyze available evidence in the search for solutions to pressing problems. Whether you become a minister of finance, a community organizer, or you run a nonprofit, or end up starting some social enterprise, you'll need to operate in an environment that is political, characterized by competing interests
and driven by public opinion. You'll need not only innovative, evidence-backed ideas, but more importantly, perhaps, you will need the strength of character and a certain depth of conviction to press your own ideas forward. We have every confidence that you can do this too. As you reflect on your time here, from your first day of math booth camp, when more than one of you asked himself, what did I get myself into with this thing? I know you did. To the hours you spent doing daunting problem sets for the core courses, you should be confident that Harris has prepared you for a world that needs you more than ever. The University of Chicago is unique in its devotion to rigorous inquiry and its commitment to creating and furthering knowledge for the social good. At Harris, we pride ourselves on upholding these values and offering our students the best analytical curriculum that exists in the arena of public policy. While particular approaches may come and go, the core values of this school, the core values with which you have been imbued over the last 2 years, will never grow stale or grow old, and they will aid you in whatever path you pursue. This is a special day. You are now graduates of the University of Chicago Harris School of Public Policy. As we embark on this new phase of your life, remember what you learned here, the tools you picked up, and the commitment you developed to policy and to impact. It is my hope that you will not think only about the tough times, about the time that you couldn't get the STATA code to work, yeah? Or you couldn't figure out what that best response function was, yeah? Or you couldn't solve for some crazy equilibrium in some econ course. I want you to remember, too, the delightful times that you had here, the friendships you made. Yeah? I want you to remember Follies and the song and dance numbers there. I want you to remember thinking about important world issues at Jimmy's over glasses of warm milk. Yeah? Yeah? I want you to remember the laughs. I hope that you leave secure in the knowledge that you leave this place better than you found it. We gained a lot from you. Your questions, your criticisms, your suggestions, especially this year to me, have, I think, made the school a better place. Your energy has enlivened our environment, and we will miss you terribly. Go forth and change the world. You are our legacy. You are our ambassadors, and we are immensely proud of you. Congratulations.
This concludes the official part of our ceremonies. Please remain seated until all of the graduates and faculty party formally process out of the auditorium. Afterwards, I invite you to join us for a reception in the courtyard. I hope you'll stay to enjoy this special day and celebrate with us. Again, thank you very much for joining us, and congratulations to this exceptional group of graduates.